Hi and welcome back. This is going to be a short video. We actually had help a friend on my day off to be able to, there was an emergency. So we're going to go ahead and do one recipe this week. I was going to do a Super Bowl recipe, a spread, but not enough time before editing. So I'm going to give you what my recipe for keto Focaccia. Focaccia? The bread, the flat bread with the holes in them. That one. Because of it being Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and make a batch, and I'm going to do some hummus, some veggies, and some, junk food for everybody else. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Now, if you didn't see my video, me discovering the perfect keto blend, which I'm still working on and improving, I'll put the link in below. Believe me, this is perfect for quick breads. This is perfect for muffins. I haven't tried it on cookies yet, but I have done the almond bread, the little waffle breads in the circle that you put in the dash. This blend does very well as making almond type bread. I haven't tried a loaf of bread yet. Hopefully that'll be coming here soon, because I did find a cheaper way of buying almond flour or almond meal. So let's go ahead and give you the recipe for this one. So in a separate bowl, you're going to want to head and put in a 1/4 cup of hot water. Not hot, but up to, I think it's 110 degrees of water. Either 1 packet or 2 1/4 teaspoons, or about a tablespoon, of yeast. You want it to activate. You also want to put in a teaspoon of white sugar. What is going to happen with the yeast, it's going to feed off of that sugar. The sugar will disappear because it's going to turn into carbon dioxide, and that's what makes everything rise. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stir this in a little bit and let that set. For about 5 minutes. Okay, now in our bowl, we're going to go ahead and add all the dry ingredients. Okay, here's our keto blend. We're going to do 2 very nice cups. Even though this has a little bit of salt, we're going to add a little bit more. 1 teaspoon. And then for this, we're going to add some herbs. I'm going to add some za'atar. One teaspoon. If you don't have za'atar, use oregano. Some garlic powder. Again, 1 teaspoon. And some onion powder, 1 teaspoon. And you want to mix that up pretty well. Just stir it up a little bit. Clean up the mess. Okay, and then you're going to add 3 eggs. Okay, and then you want to add 1/4 cup of decent olive oil. I use extra virgin. I don't use the good value brand because I've seen those freeze. And pure olive oil doesn't freeze. Okay, mix this up a little bit. Have this on low. Then we're going to add water, 1/4 cup at a time, until we get kind of like a, not necessarily soupy consistency, but enough to make everything kind of gloopy. Forgot to add this first. Let's add the yeast first. That would have been a disaster. And here we go with the water. That's 1. And we'll do 1 more. So 1/2 cup. Now that that is all nice and mixed, let's go ahead and scrape everything down to the bottom. We're going to leave it in this bowl and let it rise. There is a reason why we are not putting this into a greased bowl to rise. It's because this is going to hold on to all of that oil. Not only is this going to hold on to the oil that is already in here, but we're also going to oil the pan, and it's going to retain that oil as well. This is a no-knead bread, but it will rise. So let's go ahead and let this sit until at least doubled in size. Right now that it has at least doubled in size, we're going to go ahead and dump this onto either a pizza tray, because we can actually use this for pizza crust, or we can make this bruschetta. Let's go ahead and get that prepared. To prepare the pan, all we're going to do is spread some oil on the bottom. And please excuse the dog at my feet. It is raining and thundering outside. And we're just going to plop that right down. This is the reason why you don't put this into a greased bowl, because there's going to be too much oil if you do that. Remember, this is not flour. It's almond meal, and it will soak up anything and everything that you have. Now we're going to go ahead and smooth this out a little bit. Try not to get all the fluff out. You notice it's not taking up the entire thing. This pan is way too big for a single recipe. Depending on the size of your pan, you can double it, triple it. But this is for a single recipe. Okay, and then after we get that about 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. This is more of a 1/2 inch than it is a 1/4 inch. But a nice even consistency here. We're going to let this rise one more time. Okay, and with clean hands, go ahead and make your divots and use your fingers to spread the rest of it out. You don't have to let this rise. We're going to let this rise because I do have a little bit of time left. But let's go ahead and let this rise a little bit more, and then we'll put our toppings onto it and get it in the oven. Okay, so here we have the prosciutto. This is where it either stays prosciutto or it becomes pizza. You can put some sauce on there, some cheese, whatever toppings you want. I'm going to go ahead and make this kind of like a flatbread prosciutto. We're going to go ahead and pour a little bit of oil on the top to crisp it up. Put some nice, healthy, flaky salt on top of this. You can omit any of these if you wish. You can put some fresh basil on here. Sorry about this. My basil plant's almost done with. I've got one of those indoor planters that I can grow fresh herbs with. So we'll go ahead and put some of that on here. Kind of, sort of. Okay, some Parmesan cheese. And you can do it, put this in just like this, which I'm going to do. Some prosciuttos have like sun-dried tomatoes and olives on here. I don't have any black olives. All I have is green, and I don't like black or green olives on this. So I'm just going to leave it like this. And we're going to put it in for 350 until it's nice and crisp. Alright, so we've gone ahead and take the bread out. Let that cool for a little bit before we start cutting it up. We're going to make some hummus. You've probably seen me do this a couple of times. We're going to go over this again. 1 pint of chickpeas, garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them, they're the same thing. 2 cloves of garlic. About, I'm going to say, a half cup of tahini, if it'll come out. We're going to take our preserved lemons, get the seeds out. We're going to put in 2 quarters. We're going to slice this up and save it for the Super Bowl tomorrow. I also have the jalapeno stuffed with cream cheese wrapped with bacon. I have those thawing out. Okay, half a teaspoon of salt. And a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. Okay, a little bit of olive oil, just thin it down a little bit. Maybe a tablespoon. And we've got our hummus. This is coming off in pieces. But if you see pieces of bread, it's flat bread. Break them off in chunks, or you can cut them up. I prefer the chunks. Okay, now you have some shot bread. You can dip into the hummus, and it's all made with almond flour. It's really good. Sorry about the short video again. Like I said, I was planning on doing something a little bit more in-depth. Emergencies do happen. Excuse me. She doesn't realize that she can just open up the door. You can push it. But sorry about the short video. Like I said, emergencies do happen. Hopefully next week we'll get into what I wanted to do. But this is perfect because this is Super Bowl weekend. This is great for anybody on a keto diet or a gluten-free diet who really needs to keep their carb count down. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And go Niners.